Over on the community tab of this channel, I put out a post a couple days ago saying that I want some of you guys' Arsenal hot takes so I could respond to it in a video, react to them in a video, and that's what we're doing today. If you want your hot takes to be reacted to in the next video, then leave a hot take in the comments below, or wait till I post again on my community tab asking for hot takes and leave some of them there. I am so excited for this. You guys did not disappoint. This is gonna be good. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Gunner Central here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Let's get into it. The first hot take is from 04, and they say Gabriel has been our best defender this season. I don't think this is all that bad of a take. I think Gabriel has probably been our most consistent defender. Ben White's gone through up and down. Saliba has had some games where he looked a little bit shaky. Kiwior, I mean, he's looked really good some games, but really awful in other games. And Gabriel, I can't remember off the top of my head a game where he's played below par. Even though I won or lost against Porto, you look at Gabriel's performance and it was pretty solid. He did what he had to do. I think Gabriel being our best defender this season isn't a horrible take. Now, while I still prefer Saliba, maybe ever so slightly, and maybe just because Saliba's younger, I prefer him, I don't know. But Gabriel being our best defender this season isn't out of the realm of possibility. I agree with it somewhat, but like I said, I just prefer Saliba a little bit. But without Saliba, Arsenal aren't looking as good defensively, but without Gabriel, Arsenal aren't looking good defensively. I think it's between Gabriel and Saliba, and I think Gabriel has been more consistent than Saliba, but Saliba has had slightly better games. I don't disagree with this comment at all. Now, the next one is from Liladu, I guess is how you say your name. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. They've said Kiwior is our best left back this season. Boy, that's a hot take to some, but then you look at it, is it really a hot take? Now, on the squad list, I'm sure a lot can agree that he's not the best left back. When Timber's fit and Timber's playing at left back, looked really, really good. Zinchenko has his good games, but has he been better than Kiwior this season? The only knock I'm going to put on Kiwior is that Kiwior's only really been good at left back since after the winter break. So that's been, what, 2.5 months maybe? So that's the only problem I have with this. For the first half of the season, Kiwior looked kind of disastrous at left back. And I remember begging and pleading for Kiwior to not play left back anymore. I was proven wrong because Kiwior is actually a really solid left back. But only since he was told to not play the inverted left back role has he been really, really good, which is 2.5 months only of football. So although Kiwior has been really, really good in these 2.5 months, not playing an inverted left back role, it's kind of unfair to say that Zinchenko has been absolutely horrible. Now, Zinchenko hasn't been good this season at all. I think maybe in the summer if he leaves, wouldn't really surprise me. I don't know. As we speak right now, I'm trying to process this and think about it. I think Zinchenko has been better for a larger portion of the season, but Kiwior for these last 2.5 months has been the best left back play we've seen all season long, which is saying something. Now, Kiwior has been good. I prefer Kiwior as a centre back. Has he been our best left back this season? No, I'm going to say not, but purely because Kiwior has only really been good for 2.5 months. The next hot take we have is from a very random person. Love the name, by the way. Saying Havertz is a top 15 midfielder in the Premier League and a top 5 right now. Boy, this is what a hot take is. This is such a hot take. Listen, I actually like Havertz. When we signed him, I made a video. It was one of my biggest videos on my channel at the time, saying why I thought Havertz was actually a really good signing for Arsenal. And if he found his roles, he'd be really good for us. But I think this is a little bit of a stretch. I think as a top 15 midfielder in the Premier League right now, you are ranking him ahead of a lot of midfielders, and I don't think that's the case. Because the thing is also, Havertz isn't a pure midfielder. He hasn't only played midfield for us. A lot of his good games, a lot of Havertz's best games comes when he's playing the sole number 9. I mean, you look at all the big games against Liverpool at home, Man City in the Community Shield. Havertz plays the sole number 9, and that's where he's probably his best. As the number 8, I think he's a little more quiet at times, so I don't consider him necessarily as a strict midfielder. And to be a top 15 midfielder, that means you're rating Havertz ahead of guys like Maddison this season. But I mean, I don't know, you have to make your 15 list and then see where Havertz falls in, but I think top 15 is a little bit of a stretch. If you look at top 5 right now, based on current form, even that to me is a little bit of a stretch. I mean, you have De Bruyne who's better, Rodri is better, Declan Rice is better, McAllister is better than Havertz right now. I mean, I could probably make a list. I mean, Odegaard might be a little bit of a better midfielder than Havertz right now. I don't know. It's going to turn into a hot take itself if I make a list. But I don't think Havertz is a top 5 midfielder right now on form. Again, I just don't see Havertz as an out-and-out midfielder. If he was a pure midfielder playing this good in midfield, then I don't think it's that bad of a stretch. It's not great, but it's not a bad stretch. I think right now, based on form, we could say Havertz is a top 10 midfielder right now. Maybe he's a top 20 midfielder in the Prem. Top 15 and top 5 is a little bit of a stretch for me, purely because I think Havertz's best games are when he's playing in number 9 and not in number 8 role in the midfield. The next hot take is a juicy one, and it's from tkgabrielmonteiro, saying Arsenal should not permanently sign Raya. They should rather look around the market and find a bigger goalkeeper with a dominating presence and better positioning than Raya. Boy, that's a hot take, and I actually have my take on this, which I don't know, some of you may agree, some of you may disagree. Raya's positioning isn't bad. It's better than Ramsdale's positioning. I think that's without a doubt. And I know a lot of people are going to draw to the Porto game where Gaiano took a beautiful shot and went in. Raya was off his line a little bit, but a lot of keepers are off their line. I don't really think that's bad positioning by Raya. Raya can definitely improve in positioning, but I don't think Raya is bad there. Now, as the dominating presence, for Raya's size, I think he's actually superb there. I don't think there's many corners, many crosses that Raya struggles with, like Ramsdale does, for example. I think Raya, as his size, is really dominating. I mean, you saw in the penalty shootout how dominating he was in his goal. Again, with a lot of crosses, a lot of corners, a lot of 50-50 balls, Raya is good. Now, Raya does have his bad times. Like, I think that own goal by Gabriel where Luis Diaz put it in and it came off Saliba and all that. Raya probably should have been a little more dominating, been a little more in control, just taking the ball and call it quits. But I don't think Raya is at all not dominating. I think Raya is a very dominating keeper, very good in the air, especially for his size. His positioning could be better, but I don't think it's bad at all. And I don't think you necessarily need a bigger goalkeeper. You look around the market, there aren't too many bigger goalkeepers in a good price range that are better than David Raya. I mean, I can't really name any. You could go look at Courtois and Neuers, but they're way out of our price range. You're going to look at someone around £28 million, the one we paid for David Raya. I don't think you can get many, if any, goalkeepers that are David Raya's quality for that price tag, that are that good at dominating the ball in the air, that are that good at kicking the ball, at controlling the ball with the feet. I don't think you can get a better goalkeeper than David Raya at this moment in time. I mean, I get it. I get why you'd want a bigger goalkeeper, but I think David Raya is probably the perfect goalkeeper for what we are doing at this moment in time. For our tactical makeup, David Raya is the perfect goalkeeper, I think. Next one we have is from Static Duck, again, another beautiful name, saying Gabriel and Saliba are the best defenders in the world at the moment. For example, at the moment, Saliba is better than Van Dijk and Gabriel is better than De Ligt. Now, here's the thing. I think individually, you look at them, you could find better centre-backs than them individually. I think Van Dijk is probably better than Saliba. I think Saliba is better than Gabriel. So you could find better individual centre-backs than Gabriel and Saliba. But as a partnership, as a centre-back partnership, as a centre-back duo, I completely agree with you. I think Gabriel and Saliba are probably the best centre-back duo in the world at the moment. Now, there are a lot of great centre-back duos right now in the world, but I think Gabriel and Saliba are probably the best centre-back partnership in the world. They are better than Van Dijk and Konate as a centre-back partnership. I'm not saying that Saliba is better than Van Dijk, but it's kind of hard to argue. The best defensive record in the league. They have been so consistent and so crucial to our play this season. For sure, in my eyes, Saliba and Gabriel are the best centre-back partnership in the world. Another hot take from Static Duck says that Declan Rice is better than Rodri this season, and Martinelli is the best left wing in the Premier League, while Odegaard is better than KDB this season. Woo! That is some hot takes right there. Okay, now the first part of that statement that I completely disagree with, I think we can get out the way pretty quickly, is the fact that Martinelli is the best left winger in the Premier League. I completely disagree. I think Luis Diaz is a better left winger by far than Martinelli. I'd prefer Luis Diaz playing for Arsenal than Martinelli. Now, potential-wise, Martinelli is better than Luis Diaz, arguably. But for me, Luis Diaz right now is better than Martinelli, so that's out the way. I mean, even on top of that, you could say Anthony Gordon is probably better than Martinelli this season. Specifically, again, potential-wise is a different story. Last season, Martinelli is probably better than both of them, but this season specifically, I think Anthony Gordon and Luis Diaz are better left wingers than Martinelli, so that's out the way. I disagree at that point. Next, I think we'll do the KDB and Odegaard one. Listen, KDB has been injured this season. Sure. Odegaard's been pretty fit, pretty consistent, but KDB is just so good that even 5 games of KDB is better than 10 games of Odegaard. Now, I rate Odegaard so highly, but I just think KDB always produces big games, small games, scores, assists, whatever you like. I think KDB is by far and away better than Odegaard. This season specifically, even though De Bruyne has been injured a lot of the season, I don't think it matters all that much. He is so good that I don't care. I still think De Bruyne is better than Odegaard this season. Unfortunately, as much as I love Odegaard, as much as I love him as a captain for Arsenal and the defensive work he puts in for us, De Bruyne's better. I'm sorry about that. The last hot take is Declan Rice is better than Rodri this season. I agree. I know it's a hot take in itself to say that. Rodri has been so good. His progressive passing is absolutely insane. He acts as the central hub for Man City. But Declan Rice to me is just a special kind of player. I said this in a video where I praised Declan Rice. I think it's the biggest video on my channel. And it's true. I think Declan Rice is better than Rodri. Now, it's very, very close. I think it's kind of your pickings, which one you'd prefer. But to me, Declan Rice is better, even if it's ever so slightly. This season specifically, Declan Rice is better. Now, as a player overall, I mean, Rodri's just won a treble, so Rodri is a better player than Declan Rice. I think it's very fair to say that Declan Rice is better than Rodri, even though it's a little bit of a hot take and most people would say Rodri's better. The next hot take is from, I don't even know how to pronounce that name, I'm very sorry, saying Arsenal will win the Champions League and the Premier League this season. I would like to think so, but no, that's just not going to happen. We're just not a deep enough squad to compete on both ends at a high level. I think the problem is with this Arsenal team and our squad depth is that if you get to the final of the Champions League, then you are probably going to be losing a game or two in the Premier League and vice versa. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love if you guys could clip this up in 3 months' time and say, look how wrong this Arsenal fan is, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Next is from, I'm not pronouncing that again, I'm sorry. I don't want to butcher your name, so I just won't pronounce it rather. Saying that Zinchenko needs to leave, I'm assuming in the summer. I agree. I think if Timber comes back fully fit, we have Kivy already as a left back, maybe buy another young player in defense like Hato, who could play both left back and centre back a lot like Kivy. I think he's only 18. Then I don't actually mind letting Zinchenko leave. Next is from Nabil saying Arsenal won't win anything next year. I mean, who knows who will win next year? I mean, that's what, 2 years' time? Spurs could win. No, maybe not Spurs. Anyone could win anything next year. I don't know what makes it come to that conclusion. I don't know. That's a very, I mean, anything can happen next year. We don't know. I don't think that's a hot take to really talk about. We'll see next year, I suppose. And the last one we'll do for today. Again, guys, if you want to leave a hot take for the next hot take video, leave it in the comments, or next time I post on my community tab, just leave some hot takes there and I'll react to them in the next video. This one is from Fiona Mel saying, do we really need a striker? Basically saying we don't need a striker next season. I think we do. I think even if we can sell Nketiah and get a good backup striker like Benjamin Šeško from RB Leipzig, if we can go get Viktor Gyökeres from Sporting as well, that'd be awesome. I think right now we are forgetting about our woes we had earlier in the season because we are scoring so freely, we are playing such good football. But you guys must remember, December, January, we were struggling to score a goal, right? We had so many chances, we were creating tons of chances, we couldn't put it away, and all of us were begging for a striker in January. Now, because we score a little bit of goals here and there, now we don't need a striker. We need a striker. We need a clinical number 9, someone who can bang in 20 goals a season. I think Viktor Gyökeres is the player we should go for, but there are so many strikers I'd be open to get in. So to answer your question, yes. Yes, we need a striker. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys agree with any of these hot takes? Do you disagree with my takes on any of the hot takes? Let me know in the comments below. Please be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.